I suppose we ought to switch gears a little bit now. Instead of talking about what's going to happen, we should start talking about what's happening. But first, I'd like to cite yet another example of how Donald Trump is not part of the old establishment. Today, he signed an executive order against big tech censorship. If he was one of them and on the side of what they're trying to do, he definitely wouldn't have done that. Just an observation, not unlike this one. It's going to turn out in the long run, more than likely, that hydroxychloroquine is going to be the key treatment for this outbreak. And that the people who are running or in charge of the deep state or what have you knew about it the whole time. That's why the big tech industry, who has been on the other side all along, has been bending their knee and censoring any information or news about research or the effectiveness of hydroxychloroquine. Turns out world leaders all over the world have been taking that particular drug since the outset of this so called pandemic. So, who's really spreading disinformation and endangering people's lives? You got that right. The social media companies, by suppressing that information, have quite literally put lives at risk and more than likely caused death because of it. I had this saying years ago, it's all about the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. Unless you're willing to lie to pad the numbers. And we've been witnessing that as well. It came out early on in the fight against COVID 19 that people with pre existing conditions and the elderly were at risk. That being known, who in their right mind or anybody with any common sense would send COVID positive patients to nursing homes, except for someone willing to pad the numbers? And they were willing to use those numbers during the election to point out what a piss poor job Donald Trump has done handling all of this when it's already been preset into all of this how the numbers would roll. That's why you hear stories of people who die in motorcycle or fishing accidents dying of COVID 19 so they can pad the numbers. And they did the same thing with the nursing homes, except for in that case, it's murder. You want to look at the potential future of this country and why all of this has unfolded so slowly? You need look no further than Minneapolis, where the citizens have finally come to realize, or are just starting to realize, that those who say they are there to help them aren't. That those who say they are on their side are willing to victimize them in order to advance their cause and their own personal agenda. And in my opinion, that's why the plan has been allowed to move so slowly, to try and demonstrate that overall to the American people. And for that fact, the world.